Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the Apples and Genos Fantasy Hockey Podcast. This is Blake Creamer from Apples and Genos, and in this episode, we're going to do a 12-team points league playoff draft with 11 of our listeners. We're going to have a lot of fun, good, clean fun. Am I right? Right. Let's get to biz. Oh, yeah. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me here on Apples and Genos, a.k.a. Cream of the Crop. I got confused. I don't know what the hell's going on. But, yeah, we're here. I mean, this is kind of spur of the moment, but I wanted to get a playoff draft in here for all you beauties out there that just didn't get enough, 82 games in the regular season here. So, yeah, we're going to do a playoff draft. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's starting up in about 5 minutes. So I wanted to get on a little bit early and just talk briefly about kind of the format and what we're doing here. But, yeah, this is going to be our A&G official pool with 11 of the biggest beauties you'll ever see. A bunch of listeners here. So, yeah, cream of the crop, so to speak. We're going to have a super time. Before we start, like I said, let's talk about the scoring system. I want to get in here. And let's take a look. All right. So it is going to be a points league. It's just total points. It's not head-to-head, anything like that. It's a 12-team draft. We're going to draft 12 players. So 12 rounds there. Let's look at the scoring system here. We've got 3 points for assists, 0.5 for blocks, 4.5 for goals, 0.25 for hits, 0.5 for shots on goal. So this is almost exactly like Cacuffle. And we also have 1 point for special teams points. So that's power play points and shorthanded points there. I also have some points for goalies. If the goalies get assists, this is one thing I love about Fantrax. You can do goalie goals and assists. So a goalie assist is a regular 3, but if a goalie gets a goal, 5 points. All right. So that's pretty sweet. And then you can see here goals against minus 1.5. So yeah, these are basically the same settings that were in the Apples and Genos listener league that I was in and I set up. So except for the goalie points, which is pretty nice. The shutouts are 3, saves are 0.3, wins are 3. So there you go. We got to get into this draft room here. So let's do that. I've set up a little queue here already. It's going to be good. Honestly, we have a little bit of time here, so I want to talk a little bit of strategy here, playoff-wise. Playoff pools are much different than regular season pools, right? Things go out the window here. Like, I love 0G in the regular season. I'm all about it. In the playoffs, not so much, right? I'm not going to wait until the very last minute when I'm at playoff pool because, yeah, you want to get a hold of one of these top goalies that is playing on a team that you think is going to go the furthest, right? So, yeah. But before we get into talking goalies, I just want to quickly talk about the first bunch of rounds here. And I think that it's really key that, this sounds like common sense, but you don't pick players that play each other in the first round, right? Because they're going to get eliminated, right? So we have to think who's going to get the most games. It seems like common sense, but I've seen it plenty out there. And, the main thing you need to do when you're doing a playoff pool, you need to follow a pathway. You need to create a bracket, a playoff bracket for yourself and see who you think is going to win. You also need to see what the matchups are so you can adjust on the fly, right? But that's really a key piece there. So find out who you think is going to win. Obviously, that's ideal. That's best case scenario. We draft from those teams that we think are going to win. But like I said, you have to be able to adjust and give yourself a chance. You aren't always picking the team that you think is going to win, depending on where your draft position is, right? And that's just my experience. Sometimes you have to abandon the plan and find another pathway, right? One thing I want to talk about real quick too is stacking. Stacking is really, really key in playoffs. So, the draft is starting. I should have started earlier. Draft is starting in 1 minute here, so we're going to get into that. But a couple other things too. You don't want to be spread too thin, like players all over the place. Like I said, stacking I think is really key. Also, if that team moves on, you have that much more of a chance to accrue a bunch of points moving forward. And I also think you want to make sure that you're somewhat balanced between East and West, right? You don't want to draft all East Conference or all West Conference because, if those teams get eliminated, you just have nothing else going on. You want to ideally get players on teams that go to the Stanley Cup final together and play a ton of games, because that's really the point of this, right? And we are starting in 10 seconds here, so I'll give you a little bit of a kind of a play-by-play as we go. But to be honest, I don't really have a plan. I don't know. I'm picking at 9, and yeah, it's I'm gonna be in tough. I think this is a bunch of killers here. We are starting here, so let's see what's what. We got Tom Tron taking McKinnon first. I think that's a really good pick. Let's look. How do I turn the sound off on this damn thing? Oh my god. You got Tom Tron taking Nathan McKinnon there. We've got Zavoral. We've got another team here at 3. Oh, Canada at 4. Who wants some pudding at 5? Willie Styles. Oh, you're at 6. That's our buddy Dream Killer. Barube's Biatches. Yeah, thanks for being here. At number 7, Leafs out round 1. That's hurtful to Nate. At 8, Creams and Dreams. That's me at 9. Get Riddick or Die Trying at 10. A new team 7, very creative name at 11, and the Cooch Father at 12. So, yeah, that's how we get from A to B. And the first 2 off the board, McKinnon and Kucherov, makes total sense. Like, you see, to me, McDavid is still your best player, but it doesn't mean you're going to pick him first, right? Because do we think the Oilers are going to make it? When you are drafting early on, especially, I think McKinnon is a perfect first pick, because I personally believe that the Avalanche are going to make it further than the Edmonton Oilers, right? So that's my thought there. So these are good first picks here. Obviously, they're going for teams that they think are going to make it further. All right. And I like that. Let's see what we're going to do. I'm going to try and turn the sound off on this thing because this is very annoying. Draft room volume. Yeah, bye. Get the hell out of my sight. Oh, yeah, this is amazing. Okay. So Leon Draisaitl goes auto draft to new team 9. Hopefully this person gets in the draft. We got Cale Makar at 4. I think that's a really nice pick too. Obviously, I think Colorado has a really, really good shot at coming out of the West, right? But Vegas is the team that I'm taking out of the West, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough for Colorado. But obviously, they have all the pieces here. I gotta shape up here, see what I want to do. Makar, Eichel, Matthews, Marner, and I got one more pick, and then it's up to me. I gotta see what I want to do here. And here we go. Let's see. McDavid's still out there. Like, if this person doesn't pick McDavid, I mean, what are we doing here? This is craziness. Okay, so they took McDavid. That makes total sense to me. I have to figure this out. One thing, I've done a playoff pool already, and I found that Toronto was a team that I could kind of get in on from this point in the draft, and I think I'm going to do that again. I like Willie Nylander here. I think that's a really strong pick. And so I'm going to go for it. And what I did last time in my other draft is I was able to get Marner on the way back. And I might try and do that again for the stacker. The Toronto stacker. Shout out to Nate. All right, Nate's taking Toronto for the Stanley Cup this year. This guy's, he's drinking the sauce. He's feeling his plums. And we're here for it. If the Leafs won, how freaking epic would that be? I mean, I'm a Vancouver fan, obviously, but I love Canadian teams. I love that Montreal made it in here. I'm super stoked on that. Just lots of good stuff here. Winnipeg, I think they have a really good chance. Although St. Louis, that's a buzzsaw that they're walking into here. Pretty interesting stuff there as well. And what I got here? Pepsi Zero I'm rocking for this show, and that feels nice as well. All right, see what else is going on here. So again, just to recap, McKinnon, Kucherov, Draisaitl, Makar. Eichel went at 5. I like that pick a lot. Matthews at 6. Oh, Marner went at 7. Oh, dang. I'm crazy. I didn't even see that. McDavid at 8 is ludicrous. I love that. I took Nylander. Nichushkin goes at 10. Kyle Connor at 11. Oh, you Kyle Connor. And then Mark Scheifele goes at the turn. We'll see what happens next year. Yeah, I got Willie Nylander here. I like it. You know who else I kind of like randomly out of the West? Like, I'm choosing Vegas here, but I feel like Vegas doesn't have the fantasy assets, and I do think that the Minnesota Wild have a chance at an upset here. They have an amazing defensive system. They've played low event hockey for most of the year, but Cap is back, right? And that's who I'm going to be looking at in the next 3 picks if I can get it. Because I do think that they have a legitimate chance to beat the Vegas Golden Knights. I think if Vegas gets past the Wild, I think they're going to have an easier time with the Oilers or the Kings, to be honest. That's just my personal take. I think the Wild are a pretty stingy team, and they've got some good goaltending as well. So I think there's some good stuff there, but we'll see what happens. The ranking on the ranking on this Fantrax here, it's a little bit janked. I gotta take a look here. But because I've picked Nylander, I don't want to be taking any Tampa Bay because they would meet in the second round. So like Gensel would obviously be a target of mine. Reinhart, I think, would be a target of mine, but I'm gonna leave that there. So we'll see what happens. I think, again, what I'd like to do. Did Matthew Tkachuk go? Oh, no, I can't do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking here. He's down there. What are we doing? It's the He-Man theme song. Does anyone watch He-Man? All right, Cap's my guy. If I can get him. If I can get the Cap, man, we're doing it. We're having some fun. I think, oh, yeah, I love it. Okay, so get Riddick or die trying. Great stacker there. He took Nichushkin at 10. Marty Natchez with his pick around. I love that. Obviously, too, with playoff pools, there's no excuse to not grab guys on power play 1. You got to get guys on power play 1. I think it's really key. And I'm taking Cap. I'm going to lean in to Minnesota here. I think I think there's a chance they could upset the Vegas Golden Knights. I am picking the Golden Knights there, but again, like I said with playoff pools, I can't just pick Vegas here because Jack Eichel's gone. Like, am I going to take? I think I'd rather have a player of Cap's caliber and take a risk there as opposed to getting a guy like Mark Stone or Thomas Hertl or someone like that, right? So yeah, I'm going upside with Cap, and I'm taking a little bit of a risk there. But I think that's sort of what you have to do in playoff pools to see what you're able to do, right? Berube's biatches, Berube's female dogs. They picked Marner and then Stolars. So yeah, first goalie off the board is Stolars. I don't mind it. I think it's early, especially in this group. I think you can wait on that. This is Apples and Geno's playoff pool. I think people are going to go 0G regardless. So I don't know. I think that's a little early for Stolars. You probably could have waited 2 or 3, 4 rounds maybe to get him. But I mean, you're going to like it. This guy's playing lights out right now. And if you believe that Toronto is going to, come out of the East, you're going to be loving life with Marners and Stolars as your first 2 picks. So there you go. Let's recap the second round here. So Cooch Father at 12, he took Mark Scheifele. Then he took Braden Point. So he's evening it out there. I like that. Winnipeg in the West, Tampa in the East. That's good. New Team 7 takes Rantanen. Natchez goes to get Riddick or die trying. I took Cap. Leafs out round 1, took Evan Bouchard at 2-5. 2-6 is Stolars, and 2-7 is Alex Ovechkin. Nice pick. I mean, I don't know. I still believe all the stuff I said about Alex Ovechkin in the preseason. I think he's slow. I think that there was a huge push to get him that Golds record, and it was good, but now he has it. So is it still the same magic? I have yet to see. But that said, I like Washington to come out of the East. That's my pick. So I've got Vegas and Washington in the final, with Vegas taking the Stanley Cup. That's my bracket there. So, but Ovechkin, I think Washington, in terms of fantasy, there's nothing that I love about that team currently. I do like Chychrun and Carlson. I think that those are good picks. But yeah, Ovechkin at 2-7, yeah, it makes sense. But I don't know. I'm not interested. Sorry, Dream Killer. After 2-7, who wants some pudding takes Jake Gensel, which is nice. At 2-9, John Tavares goes, and then Sam Reinhart, the Sex Panther, goes at 2-10. So, he's auto-drafting his team, new Team 9, but he picked up Draisaitl with his first pick, and then he got Reinhart on the way back. That's pretty nice. I got to say, like, as far as auto-drafting, you're going to like the way you feel there. I guarantee it. All right. Anybody remember that commercial from the 90s? Was it was like a suit company? Oh, I can't remember. Somebody hit me up in the comments here. Hit me up in the DMs. What was that commercial? It's like a suit company. This guy with a beard. You're going to like the way you feel. I guarantee it. Okay. Yeah. I bought a suit a couple years ago. What a painful process that was. I don't know. I have a weird body shape, I think. And it's just, I don't know where I'm going with that. What the hell am I talking about? I don't know. At 210, Sex Panther goes 211, Jordan Kyrou, and then Tomtron takes Devin Taves. Devin at 212 at the turn there. So he's obviously loading up on Colorado. That's fine. I'm definitely looking to grab a defenseman on the way back here. You know, and the teams I've obviously targeted Toronto and Minnesota. So those are going to be the teams that I sort of lean in on, but I don't really like the defensemen on those teams, to be honest. So I'm going to look maybe, let's see. So I can't get the Avs, but maybe Josh Morrissey, maybe Thomas Harley out of the West. I could do that. Capitals or Carolina, I could get Gostisbehere later on. I think Chikrin or Carlson maybe is my guy. So maybe I wait because I don't think I have to spend a bunch of draft capital getting those guys right away. Let's see what the forward situation looks like moving forward. I'm going to dig in on Toronto and just see who's left. I know Matthew Nyes is, oh no, he's gone. Oh, dear God. Let's talk about the third round. Brock Nelson goes 3-1. Victor Hedman goes 3-2. Brandon the Bagel Hagel goes 3-3. Matthew Nyes at 3-4. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I almost wish I didn't pick up Willie Nylander because a lot of Toronto is out of reach already. Morgan Riley might be a guy that I'm looking at later on, but hopefully I don't have to spend too much draft capital to pick him up. I'm not going to do that here coming up. I think I'm going to go forward again because the defense options aren't awesome. So let's see. I love Matt Boldy. I'll probably roll with them, to be honest. Like Tom Wilson, I think has some good value there as well, but I think it's a little early. Wyatt Johnston is another player I'm really interested in, but I want to make sure. Yeah. Dallas coming out of that series, it's going to be tough. I think with J-Rob out week to week, and Dallas has really been hemorrhaging goals, and Colorado looks pretty damn good, to be honest. So I think that now I don't think I'm going to go with the Dallas player. I would love to grab Wyatt Johnston there, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe we go Carolina. Nothing could be finer. Let's see. Someone took Sebastian Aho already. Yep. Chikrin goes. Oh, God. All right. It's getting crazy here. Let's see. Berube's ladies. They're going. Let's see. She got Marner, Stolars. Let's see if she sticks with Toronto here. Maybe she goes Morgan Riley. I don't know. I'm going to guess. She's really going to load up there on Toronto, which isn't a bad idea. But we'll see. I'm wondering if I should load up on Minnesota. That might be the play here. Oh, Barkov. Great pick. Okay. But I mean, Toronto and Florida are kind of against each other there. So she's not going to get a lot of value out of either her Toronto guys or Florida. I need to see what's what here. What do I want to do? Dang it. Boldy's still out there. I do like Boldy. Do I just dig in? Like, this is what I mean. You have to kind of change your strategy a bit. Like, I had Vegas going to the Cup final, but now I'm loading up on Minnesota. It's a little bit wild, but I'm here for it. Let's see what we can do. I'm just looking here. We got Willie Nylander, Kaprizov. Let's just do it. Let's have some fun. I'm gonna go with Boldy. I'm taking Minnesota. This is a little spicy here. But I mean, it's a playoff pool. We're having fun. My preparation for this too, nothing like the way I prep for my season-long leagues. This is I'm just having some fun here, but I still want to win, damn it. So obviously I'm putting my eggs in Minnesota's basket here. I'll probably grab some more of their players later on. But yeah, let's recap the third round again. Nelson at 3-1, Hedman at 3-2, Brandon Hagel 3-3, Matthew Nyes 3-4, Sebastian Aho goes 3-5. Really nice pick there. 3-6, Jacob Chikrin. I would have loved that one. 3-7, Barkov is amazing value, but unfortunately, she's also got the Leafs, so they're potentially going to meet in the second round, and she's going to lose some value from two or one of those players. Jesper Bratt goes 3-8. I took Boldy at 3-9. Jarvis goes 3-10. Mark Stone, hi Mark, goes at 3-11, and then Vasilevsky goes what? Oh, I was just thinking, is Hellebuck still out there? That's crazy. So Vasilevsky goes 3-12, and Brady Tkachuk goes 4-1. So Cooch father right now has Scheifele, Point, Vasilevsky, and Tkachuk. Really nice start. I don't like Ottawa's chances coming out of that series. Honestly, I think the Leafs are gonna run house, hopefully. But we'll see what's up. I gotta plan my next move here. I think I do want to go D, and maybe what are they like? I hate hate that Morgan Riley isn't on the power play. That's really frustrating, right? Because what am I doing here? I'm just going to take a look at the Leafs last power play lines. Yeah, it's it's a 5 forward power play line. I don't know. Morgan Riley, maybe a little spicy at this point. Maybe I need to go a different way. I don't like Minnesota's players, but maybe I go with someone on the other half of the Western bracket, like a Josh Morrissey. I think that's maybe a guy that I'm looking at, although he had such a lame end to the season here. But we'll see what's what. I'm just looking through the defensemen here. I'm not liking the value that I see, honestly. I think I can get Gostisbehere later, maybe. You know, it's another player I'm interested in. Eriksson Ek. I'm going to just put him on my queue. Might as well just roll with all the Minnesota guys. That's not a way to win here. I'm sorry, folks. But let's see. Okay, looking at the forwards here on Toronto. Yeah, nothing's really doing. So I might go with some Washington players. I think that makes a lot of sense. Tom Wilson. Yeah. Wilson, Strome, PLD. Yeah, I'm going to start going Washington because they're on the other side. Oh, I'm going to do this really quick. I'm running out. Bang. Okay. I took Tom Wilson there. So my first 4 picks, Willie Nylander, Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Boldy, Tom Wilson. Wilson. Oh, yeah. Yeah, feels okay. Let's recap the first 4 picks of the 4th round. Cooch Father took Brady Tkachuk. Connor Hellebuyck goes 4-2. That's a really nice value pick. Dorofiev goes at 4-3. I took Tom Wilson at 4-4. So, yeah, I'm yammering on here, but one of the things I look to do if I'm going to pick, first off, I've got Toronto and Minnesota. Those are my teams that I'm trying to focus on. But once those teams run out of quality players, I need to start looking elsewhere, right? And the way to do that is to look at the other half of the East bracket and the other half of the West bracket. So, you know, Toronto, and I'm taking Toronto to come out of their round. And then, you know, I don't want to pick Tampa or Florida because, like I said, those players are going to get eliminated. So now I'm looking at Washington, Montreal, Carolina, and New Jersey. And I've obviously chosen Washington to sort of dig in on. So that's going to be kind of a secondary team for me that I'm picking. So let's maybe identify a team that I want to do that with on the West side as well. The West side. Let's take a look. I think Winnipeg is a great option, obviously, right? I don't have any Colorado, Dallas, or St. Louis. So I think Winnipeg is really nice there. I also think St. Louis could be a team that I'm interested in. So Rob Thomas, Buchnevich, Cam Fowler, even as a late pick. I think those are all good. So yeah, I'm looking at Winnipeg first, then St. Louis on the West side. That's what I'm going to do. All right, cool. Wow. Okay. So after I took Wilson, 4-5 is Nico Hischier, 4-6 is Matthew Tkachuk. So Berube's ladies, Marner, Stolars, Barkov, Tkachuk. So it's just unfortunate. This is kind of what I'm talking about. These are great picks. Like Matt Tkachuk in the 4th round, unbelievable. But yeah, they're going to potentially play each other in the 2nd round. So after the 2nd round, you're going to lose half of your team. And that's, you know, to me, I've seen it too many times where it just cuts you right down. She could be leading the entire league at that point, but you lose 2 players. It's going to be hard to keep up, right? So hopefully they go off really big in the first 2 rounds. That'd be great for you. After Tkachuk goes a 4-6, Shea Theodore goes a 4-7, Dylan Strome 4-8, Mackenzie Blackwood 4-9, Nick Suzuki 4-10, Adrian Kempe at 4-11, and Josh Morrissey at 4-12. Damn, I would have loved some Josh Morrissey there. I want to get a defenseman on the way back here. So yeah, we'll see. I think value over replacement in the playoffs is a little bit different because there's such limited amount of games, right? And goalies too, right? These goalies aren't splitting starts. They're playing all the games. So goalies are a little bit more important, and defensemen, to me, I'm fading them a little bit because they just don't get as many points as forwards. And we need to get a bunch of points as quick as possible in playoff leagues. So yeah, that's where we're at. Ooh. Okay, 5th round. Let's start on here. Kevin Fiala goes 5-1. Cole Caulfield 5-2. Jason Robertson auto pick. I mean, that stinks, right? That's not good for you. Oh, Morgan Riley goes at 5-4. My defense is going to be decimated here. I mean, is John Carlson gone? I could take some John Carlson. Oh, please, God. Do you think? Let's see. He is there. Okay. That I'm really looking at John Carlson. We'll see if he makes it here. Willie Styles is not going to take him, but who wants some pudding? This could be a Carlson snipe right here. We'll see what happens because he does have Dylan Strome. Decisions. Sorry, these drafts are a little hectic, folks. It's I haven't done one in a while, so I'm a little bit out of practice on the draft, but oh yeah. I knew it. That's a John Carlson snipe right there, a snipe show. What the hell am I even doing? I got to look at some defense here. So I did say Winnipeg. St. Louis, I think. Just horrible defensive options. Yeah, I'm going to be hurting for defense. I don't think I'm going to take a defenseman here. I just don't like the value. So let's see what we got here. Again, Dallas. Do I jump in on Dallas? Right, I've got Minnesota beating there. Yeah, I could take some Dallas and Washington. That might be the move here. I've got Wyatt Johnston still here, and I like that. Obviously, he's going to have to pick up his game with J-Rob out. So I think I am going to go with Wyatt Johnston coming back here. I think I like that. And, they've been free falling here the last little bit. And now with J-Rob out, I think people are counting them out for sure. And they probably should. But there's still some value there. And they have a great young goalie. And, oh, man, Wyatt Johnston snipe right there. Oh, God, that stings. I might have to go with another Washington player. Let's see. PLD? Is it PLD time right now? Maybe. Yeah. I think I might go PLD. I like that. Let me just check. Has he been getting power play 1 as of late? I got 40 seconds. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking up some stuff here. PLD. He's dynamite. Yeah. I'm taking PLD. What the hell? Let's have some fun. Let's have a good time here. And I still want Jeek. I got Jeek down there. Also, Zach Hyman's still out here. Damn. Am I gonna? Yeah, I mean, they could go there. Zach Hyman would be a great pick on the way back. I might pick up Zach Hyman on the way back, just because we're in the 6th round. So even if the Oilers make it past the 1st round and they meet, let's say, the Minnesota Wild in the 2nd round, I'm still gonna get a bunch of like 2 rounds out of Zach Hyman. And at pick, in round 6, I'm loving that. I think that's a really nice pick. I think it's smart, and I think I got to do it. All right. I'm gonna have to start thinking about goalies here soon too. Vasilevsky, Stolars, Hellebuck, Blackwood, Hill, all off the board. Am I really not going to get a defenseman here? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. I think I might wait for. What the hell am I doing? I've got Brock Faber. I could get Brock Faber. I could get Zeev Buium. Really? I mean, he was running power play 1 in warm-up. Is he going to get a chance on power play 1 in the playoffs? Maybe. Let's see. All right. I'm going to recap the 5th round again. Fiala at 5-1. Cole Caulfield goes next. J-Rob auto pick. Morgan Riley, John Carlson, Aiden Hill, Thomas Harley, Wyatt Johnson snipe. I took PLD. Sam Bennett goes 5-10. Thomas Hurdle goes 5-11. Great pick there. Stützle goes 5-12. So you can see it's a big difference, playoff pools, right? It doesn't make sense from what we're used to looking at, right? Because it looks like extreme value here. But if these guys go out in the 1st round, it's a lost pick, basically. So let's see. After Stützle, Lane Hudson goes 6-1. Rupe Hintz at 6-2. Bobrovsky goes, oh, hell yeah. I'm going to get the biz. I'm taking Zach Hyman because you got it. All right. Zach Hyman in round 6. I could get 2 solid rounds out of Zach Hyman, maybe 3, right? Although if Minnesota makes it and Edmonton makes it and then Edmonton wins, yeah, I'm going to be hurting a little bit because I'll lose Cap and Boldy, right? Plus, I'm still going to get Jeek on the way back. So Hyman's kind of a little supplementary pick there, a little sneaky pick just to accrue some points. Geez, one thing about playoff pools as well, I never really know where I am. I never know where I am in terms of talent. So I just try and trust the process that I know in my brain. I want power play 1 guys. I want guys that are shooting the puck. And, I want the best players on the teams that I think are going to make it. So, again, I've got Willie Nylander as my first pick. I got Cap and Boldy next. Then I got Wilson and PLD. And then I picked up Zach Hyman. So there's a good little bit of balance there, I think. I don't mind that. So let's see. After I picked Hyman, Dougie Hamilton goes. It's going to be tough. Like teams like New Jersey, right? Montreal, I think Ottawa, Even the Kings, I think there's a lot of value there, but I think there's a really good chance that they're probably all going to get beaten, right? So again, like a pick like Lane Hudson, I would love to have Lane Hudson, but he might only get 5 games. The Montreal Canadiens barely squeaked in. So Hudson at 6-1, to me, it's kind of a an upside play. You're really hoping for the best, right? So I find that, once I make my decision here in playoff pools, I like to just be as safe as possible, right? And I do like the chances of Minnesota more than I like the chances of Montreal. So that's sort of where I'm at, but who the hell knows? All right, let's see what's going on. After Dougie Hamilton goes, Matt Duchene goes, and then Logan Thompson goes to Dream Killer, Willie Stiles. Let's take a look at Dream Killer's team. He's got Matthews, Ovechkin, Chikrin, Theodore. So I like the first 4, and then Hill and Thompson as his goalies. That's not bad. In this format here, we have 10 active roster spots, 6 forwards, 3 defense, and 1 goalie. So I'm only picking 1 goalie. I'm not going over that. I don't want to have a guy sitting on my bench taking up games, like in case these teams play on the same night. I don't want to do that. So I'm definitely only getting 1 goalie. And I think it's probably going to be Philip Gustafson a little bit later, because I've sort of put my eggs in that basket of Minnesota. So I think I might as well go all the way. And I'm going to do that. But yeah, stacking is huge in playoff pools to me, because like stacking the power play as well. Like I've got Cap and Boldy. I'm going to try and get Jeek. Like if they score a power play goal, I'm getting buku points just on that, right? And then if I have the goalie, Gustafson, you're loving life. But the key is to spread it out as well. After Logan Thompson, Shane Gostisbehere goes. I really like that pick. He's a power play specialist. You're going to get a ton of looks there. Arturi Lehkonen goes after that. Drake Batherson goes at 6'10". Noah Hannafin, 6'11". Carter Verhaeghe, 6'12". Really nice pick. I mean, can we get this guy on power play 1? Damn, it's so rough. It's such a rough look. They got, just some crazy stuff out there. Even in the game where this last game Florida had, where they were resting a bunch of guys, Verhaeghe couldn't even get on power play 1 then. It's insane. So I'm not sure what Paul Maurice is doing over there. Oh, man. Oh, this stinks. Kemper goes 7-1. Gustafson goes 7-2. I really don't like that. I'm scrambling a little bit for goalies now. So let's take a look. I think Ottinger might be my guy. I think I want to go Jake Ottinger, and I might do it this round here. Although, Stuart Skinner is there as well, but I don't trust him. Like we saw what happened last year's playoffs. I just don't trust the goalie. Jake Ottinger I trust as a goalie more, but the team is looking pretty shady right now. So I think for these upcoming 2 picks, I'm looking at a defenseman and a goalie. I have to put something on the board here. Oh, no, I'm not crazy. I'm just a little, Rob Thomas. How good is Rob Thomas this year? Sheesh. Much better than Matchbox 20's Rob Thomas. All right. Shout out to the NHL's Rob Thomas. This guy's a legend. Matchbox 20's Rob Thomas. He's a wet noodle. All right. I don't know what's going on there. I'm sure he's the nicest man too, but what's that song he did with Santana? It's the same exact emotion when I come out the boob. What are you doing? What are you doing? So, like, he was in the studio and people were like, good job, Rob Thomas. That sounds great. Like, yeah, keep doing that. And then Santana. No, I'm not into it. Okay. Dear God. All right. My turn's coming up. I gotta, focus up here. What the hell? Jeez, these these defensemen don't look good. I mean, Brock Faber's still out there, but he's not even getting power play 1. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? I don't know. Let's take a look. Zeev Bouillon? For real? I mean, is that what's going on? Ottinger. Oh man. This is rough. I got to pick up a goalie here. I think it's important that I do that. I'm going to go Stuart Skinner because it makes sense. I've got Zach Hyman. I'm going to roll with that. I don't want to wait too long. So that feels fine. It feels kind of icky, but hopefully, I mean, this guy's got his bad play out of his system. Oilers should be pretty damn motivated to get the biz here after last season. So yeah, we'll see what's what. But let's talk about the 7th round here. Darcy Kemper, 7-1. Philip Gustafson, 7-2. Tooting in my face. Jake Sanderson goes 7-3. Nuge goes 7-4 to the Oilers there. 7-5 is Rob Thomas. Drouin goes 7-6. Drew Doughty at 7-7. Jake Ottinger snipe to me. And I pick Stuart Skinner. Aaron Ekblad goes 7-10. Gabe Velarde. The Velarde party goes 7-11. And 7-12 is Jake Wallman. Decent pick, right? He's loading up on some kind of second-tier defenseman, which no problem at all. Anze Kopitar goes 8-1. I like that. I mean, now we can start looking at the Kings, right? Because, yeah, that's kind of the teams that are left at this point, right? So I'm going to be digging in still. I want to look at, I think I do want Jeek. So don't snipe me on Jeek. Yeah, Svechnikov goes 8-3. That's a really nice pick. I'm going to take Joel Eriksson Ek because it feels good. And he really helped me in my playoffs with 5 goals in as many games. Let's do it. Boom, baby. Okay. So, again, you can see my team, besides Nylander, who I had a plan. You can see I wanted to go Toronto there, and it just didn't happen. So I had to sort of adjust, and I ended up going Minnesota and Washington and Edmonton. So now that I'm just sort of talking it out loud, I think when you do playoff pools, you want to have, your 2 main choices in each conference, and then you want to have a supplementary choice. And I think you don't really want to have more than 4 teams worth of guys. You want to stick with 4 teams. That's my opinion. But I mean, certainly in the late rounds, you can take flyers on guys, even if they play 1 round, like, a guy like Timo Meier, who just got picked at 8-5. He plays 6 games, he might get 7 points, right? That's valuable, certainly in round 8. Okay, so those are some of the players that I'll be looking at as well. But yeah, this feels okay. I like where I'm at. I'm gonna look. Who else is on Washington? Let's take a look here. Dear God, Protas. No, he's not coming back. Progressing, hasn't resumed on ice work. No, get the hell out of my sight. Connor McMike. I like him a little bit, but that's too early. I think I might be done with Washington. I like the guys I have there. Brock Faber, Yves Bouillon are on my radar for defensemen, and I don't have any defensemen yet. So, I mean, if Minnesota loses, guess who else loses? This guy. Okay. I find myself doing this in playoff pools quite a bit, just really leaning into one team. And when it works, you end up dominating the pool. But when it doesn't, yeah, you get eliminated. Luckily, in this league here, there's 15 moves for each manager. So we can make some changes here, pick up guys that are still available, guys that maybe pop off, under the radar guys. So we'll see what happens there. Let's talk about round 8 here and look at what's happened. Anze Kopitar goes 8-1. Neil Pionk, freshly signed. Neil Pionk goes 8-2. Svech at 8-3. I took Jeek at 8-4. Timo Meier goes 8-5. Mikhail Granlund 8-6. Connor McMichael at 8-7. Jordan Bin in the Sauce at 8-8. Seth Jones at 8-9, Thomas Chabot at 8-10, and come on, Bobby, let's go party. I've been Bobby Shev at 8-11. Then Brant Clark goes at 8-12. Yeah, that's an interesting pick. This is a fantasy hockey league, and Brant Clark does that. So obviously, Tom Tron is leaning into LA a little bit. He's got Fiala, Clark, Byfield. Not bad. And then he's kind of loading up on Western Conference teams besides Carter Verhaeghe there. It's an interesting strategy, right? Like if you correctly guess the 2 teams that make it to the conference final, yeah, you're going to be in really good shape there. And the Kings are an amazing defensive team. I think they're ripe for an upset of the Oilers, right? I mean, we've seen it before. The Oilers can be fragile at times, and after last season, maybe they emptied the tank and maybe they don't have it here. But we'll see. I do need a defenseman. That's really key. I got to start farting around here. Sheesh. What am I going to do? What the hell am I going to do? I think Brock Faber's the answer. So I'll probably go Brock Faber right off the bat. Is there anybody else on Washington? No, I don't want Washington. Edmonton, maybe Darnell Nurse. Is he there? Okay. Darnell Nurse is an interesting one. Yeah, I would rather go away from Minnesota because I'm so heavy on the Wild right now. I think I might go Darnell Nurse here and maybe get Faber if I can a little bit later on, right? So let's see. We got some chat here. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. It's amazing podcasting, folks. But man, what are we doing? I do want to shout out my friend here, the fantasy hockey professor. He's a teacher in New Jersey, and this guy and his students made this Canucks logo on their 3D printer. So shout out to you, Mike. You're a dang legend. They also, one of his students made this awesome drawing of Cream of the Crop logo. I don't have it here with me, but I'm going to put it up behind here. But yeah, really appreciate you, man. Thank you to the class for doing this. This is really nice. I wish the Canucks were in the playoffs, but yeah, that show ain't no good. That's it is what it is. But we'll be there next time. Hopefully the Devils, tickle your fancy there, Mike, and make it past a couple rounds. That'd be really nice. Okay, round 9. Quentin Byfield goes 9-1. Rasmus Sandin 9-2. Sam Montembeault goes 9-3. Ross Cameo Colton goes 9-4. Luke Hughes 9-5. Brad Marchand 9-6. Darnell Nurse at 9-7. Come on. I'm getting sniped all over the place here. God, this is very frustrating. I feel like I have to take Brock Faber at this point. I don't know. Yeah, I've got 7 forwards, only 6 in play. Yeah, I got to start going defenseman here. All right. Yeah, I got to do that. So, I mean, Parayko's still there. That would work for what I'm trying to do here. I don't have any Dallas. I don't have any St. Louis, Dallas, Winnipeg, or the Avalanche. So I could do that. I could start going hard on St. Louis. That doesn't feel good though at all. I don't know. I'll take Faber for now, just because I should probably have him. Let's see, and maybe Z William. I'll pick him up later on. This is what I'm dealing with, folks. I'm just going all in on Minnesota. That's fine. When these things work, you look like an absolute genius, right? Like, again, Minnesota is not the team that I'm taking to win the cup, but I do think they have a chance at stymieing the Vegas Golden Knights there. And if they make it through them, I think, yeah, Oilers, and I think they have a better chance against the Oilers than they do against the Kings, honestly. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, crazy stuff. I've got Faber, I've got Jeek, I got Boldy, I got Cap. I'm done. I'm done with the freaking Wild. That's enough now. I might try. Let's see who's on Edmonton. I don't want defensemen. Forwards. Oh God, no, it's ugly. I wonder who's going to be. Vander Kane's out there. This is a guy that could play too. I like that. Vander Kane might be like kind of a last pick for me. I might do that actually. I think there's a good chance that he gets back into action here in the playoffs. And if he does, he crushes LA. He's been really good in those LA series with Edmonton and LA. So that's something I'm considering. But I don't think I can get another. I got to pick more defensemen. Is Faber my first defenseman? Yeah. Ew. I think I'm going to go another defenseman first, and it's going to be St. Louis. I think that's the right move. Colton Parayko is the obvious choice, even though he's not on power play 1. Let's take a look. Just looking this up here, folks. So power play 1 currently, Cam Fowler. I mean, Parayko's not even getting power play time, but he's a beast. He scores goals, right? Decisions. I just can't justify going Fowler here. Do I? Oh, no, I'm going to take Cam Fowler. I think I got to go. I have to go with the power play there. If it's regular season, I'm probably taking Parayko there just of what he's been able to do this year. But yeah, I'm taking Fowler for the power play 1 currently. And, if it does come back around, I might grab Parayko or Falk if they're available. But that feels terrible. It feels really terrible. But, I mean, I just have to remind myself how St. Louis finished the season. They were nuts. They were going off. Rob Thomas is losing his mind. So, yeah, it could be worse, right? I just got a power play 1 defenseman in the 10th round. That's not terrible. Winnipeg, they're missing Nick Ehlers week to week, so he might not play the series. That's big. That's a huge thing. Gabe Velarde's coming back off injury. I don't know. What does he look like out there, right? Obviously, I think Winnipeg's going to win that series, but I think there's a chance. St. Louis has a chance. Let's talk about the rest of round 9. I finished at 9-7, which was Darnell Nurse. I got sniped there. Juraj Slavkovsky goes at 9-8. I took Brock Faber. Mackie Samoskevich, great pick there in the 9th round. He's power play 1. Doesn't look like it's changing. Essa Lindell goes 9-11, and Darren Radish at 9-12. Pretty good. All right. Cooch Father at the turn 10-1. He takes the Coiler. Charlie Coyle. Yeah, he's filling the bowl. He's ready for the playoffs. He's done a colon cleanse. So we'll see what kind of stuff the Coiler's capable of here. Victor Olofsson goes at 10-2. Gus Forsling goes at 10-3. I took Cam Fowler. I'm embarrassed. That late night beauty. Mike Matheson, the professor, goes at 10-5. Kuzmenko goes at 10-6. Petrangelo goes at 10-7. That's a really nice value pick to me. Anthony Cirelli goes 10-8. Protas goes 10-9. I just don't think he's going to play, but I don't know. It is what it is. Colton Parayko, 10-10. There you go. Taylor Hall goes at 10-11, and Alex Laferriere goes 10-12. We're rocking. We're almost done here. I only got 2 more picks. This has been a nice little draft here. I feel decent about my picks. It doesn't feel amazing. I'll say that, but Charlie Lindgren is still there. I should have taken Charlie Lindgren. Damn it. I don't know the situation there with Logan Thompson. Like the last we've heard, he's skating, but he's not doing. We don't have any updates, so it could be Charlie Lindgren. I don't know. I'm not taking a second goalie. I'm not doing it. So I'm going to stick with Stuart Skinner. I feel decent about that, but maybe hindsight, I wish I probably should have grabbed Charlie Lindgren there. I think that would have been a better pick for me and for what I'm doing here. Ooh, Zavoral goes Zeev Buyam at 11-2. I love that. This guy's on the ball. I think that's a really smart pick. Just a throwaway pick at 11, round 11. What's the harm? If he doesn't get power play 1, you boot him and grab somebody else. I think that's a really nice pick there. So starting the 11th round, Cole Perfetti, Zeev Buyam, Dylan Holloway, who we'll see if he gets into action here, 11-3. Bobby McMahon goes 11-4. And again, I gotta sort of figure out what I'm doing. Spurgeon's out there. I'm not doing that. Ekholm, he's not even going to make the first round. Yeah, he's not. So I'm not taking him. That doesn't feel good. Just looking through some of the defensive options here. Ryan McDonough on Tampa Bay. I mean, you could do worse. This guy's kind of a role player, but I don't know. Tampa Bay doesn't make sense with what I'm doing on my team. This is ugly. This is freaking ugly. I'm going to look at Toronto here. Ekman Larson, Jake McCabe, Tanev. None of this looks good. No. Okay. Yeah, I kind of screwed myself with the fence here a little bit. That's fine. I might go. How many more picks? I got 2 more picks. Okay. So I'm going to go 1 more forward. I think I am going to take Evander Kane. I like that pick. So as long as Leafs out round 1 doesn't snipe my Evander Kane, I'm going to rock that. Not that I think he's going to be so great, but the secondary scoring in Edmonton is garbage. It just is. So they have to find a way. Ooh, the Zucchini Man goes Leafs at round 1. I would have grabbed them, but I have so many. It's insane. So I'm taking Evander Kane. I like that as just kind of an upside play. He's probably going to play the top 6, right? That makes sense to me. Power play 2, sure, but it doesn't matter. This is a guy that's sort of built for playoffs, and we'll see if he gets back in. One thing I like to do when I'm doing drafts is, especially in the late rounds, pick a guy that's injured, you throw him into your IR spot, and then you just pick another player right after the draft. I always do that. So that's what I'm going to do with Evander Kane as well. I'll throw him in the IR and then just grab somebody right away. It's just kind of it's a little stash. I like having stashes, especially late there. Okay, I'll just run down my team again real quick. Nylander, Kaprizov. I like the first 2 picks. Boldy, Wilson, PLD, Zach Hyman in round 6. I like that. Stuart Skinner, round 7. Joe Eriksson Ek, round 8. Brock Faber, round 9. Cam Fowler in the 10th round. And Evander Kane in the 11th round. Not too shabby. I don't mind it. It's I hope that, my rambling has sort of made some sense because I feel like I've sort of done what I said I was going to do, which is focus on 4 teams. Obviously, I've got Minnesota, Edmonton, I've got Washington, and I've got Toronto, and they're all on opposite sides of the bracket. So that maximizes my chance of getting the most games played if things work out for me, right? If these teams get eliminated, it is what it is, right? That's the nature of a playoff pool. But I think I've given myself a good chance to accrue some games here. Let's see what's what. All right. So Round 11, I talked about. I stopped at Bobby McMahon, 11-4. Jackson Blake goes 11-5. Brett Howden goes 11-6. Jake Neighbors, 11-7. Hey, neighbor. The Zucchini Man, 11-8. I took Evander Kane. Logan Stankoven goes 11-10. Put some stank on it, buddy. Brain McNabb, the Beefer Extraordinaire, goes 11-11. Brent Burns goes 11-12. And then Dylan Cousins goes 12-1. So, yeah, I'll do a quick little bit of, reviewing some of these teams, the teams that I like at the end here. I like to do that. But yeah, we'll see what's what. We'll kind of see what strategies people employed. I'll definitely take a look and see. But yeah, this is my last pick here. I got to grab a defenseman, and everything stinks, and I hate it here. All right. I'm taking Justin Falk. If I can get, oh yeah. Okay, there we go. Justin Falk. Oh man. That's fine. I don't mind it. All right. So Dylan Cousins goes 12-1. Evan Rodriguez, Erod 12-2. Oh wow, Alexander Nikishin. I don't know how to say this man's name. I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. I'll learn. I'll do better. All right, Alexander Nikishin. Nikishin. Oh God, sorry about this. I took Justin Falk. Ivan Demidov goes 12-5. Love that. Yeah, this kid looks great. I that wouldn't surprise me if Montreal somehow comes out of that series, like against the Canes. They have a chance. I don't like the Canes goaltending at all. I think Kochetkov is suspect for sure. They could get out of there, but they're not going to beat the Caps, they're playing the Caps. My bad. So I don't know. I just lost what I'm saying. Yeah, they're not going to beat the Caps. I really don't think they can do that. Sorry, I thought they were playing Carolina, but they aren't. They're playing the Caps. I'm looking at my bracket now. All right, go easy on me. See what happens. But yeah, if they make it through the Capitals, damn, I think they have a chance against Carolina for sure. And then I don't know, everything's up in the air at that point. You get a hot goalie, Sam Montembeault. He's been amazing. His goal saved above average, really strong on the season. And yeah, he's going to need to do that in the playoffs as well, because Montreal's defensive environment, hot garbage. Okay, really bad. But when you got Nick Suzuki out there, anything's possible. Anything is possible. Anybody see that Kevin Garnett interview when the Boston Celtics won the NBA championship? Yeah, that's classic stuff. That guy was out of his head. Oh my God. But I love that. All right. I'm losing my mind. Ivan Demidov goes 12-5. OEL, Oliver Ekman-Larsson goes 12-6. Anthony Beauvillier, 12-7. William Karlsson, 12-8. Nick Ehlers, 12-9. Nice little stash there. Marco Rossi, 12-10. Great pick. 12-10 is Nick Paul, and Anton Lundell goes to 12-12. That's the draft. I'm just going to thank you, everyone. Episode is out tomorrow. All right. Sweet. Good stuff. All right. Well, let's take a look. That's excellent. That's the draft, folks. So let's take a look at some of these teams here. And see what people what their strategies were. And I will go through every team here, kind of give just my thoughts on each team. And you can see the whole team here, which is pretty nice. So let's start with Tom Tron. He had pick 1. He took McKinnon, Taves, Nelson. So he's going for the Colorado stacker. I like that. Morrissey, Fiala, Verhaeghe, Kemper. So we've talked about this. He's leaning in on LA a little bit, which, I mean, he's taken Colorado, which is in the top half of the West bracket, and he's taking LA in the bottom half. So that's fine, right? That works out. They can meet each other in the conference final. He's given himself a chance to win there. I like the picks, like Byfield, LaFerriere, Perfetti, Lundell. Like, I don't know. I'm always trying to get power play one guys. So, that said, I think he's spread it out pretty nice there. So nice work, Tom Tron. We'll see what happens. At pick 2 was Zavoral. He took Nikita Kucherov, which is a great pick, obviously, right off the bat there. I like Tampa's chances this year. They look amazing. Vasilevsky's playing unreal. Jordan Kyrou at 211. A little early for me, but, I mean, obviously he likes St. Louis to come out of there, but he didn't pick up any other St. Louis players. So that's kind of an interesting strategy. We'll see what happens. He did get the stacker with Cooch and Hedman there. Adrian Kempe at 411. Then he took Caulfield, Hannafin, and Philip Gustafsson. So this is an interesting one. This is a team that I'll probably watch throughout the year, and because I feel like he did spread himself a little too thin. We got players all over the place. So, the good thing about that strategy is if, your players get eliminated, you still have a bunch of people still in play. But, I think it limits your ability to get a bunch of points, right? You're kind of just chinsing away at that point and you're losing players here and there. So we'll see what happens, right? Obviously, I wanted Gustafson. I would have probably picked him at 7-9 where I got my goalie, but he got him at 7-2. Not too bad. Barbashev, Sandin, Taylor Hall, Zeev Buyam, Nick Paul. So it's kind of all over the place. I do like the Tampa stacker. I think that's, that's going to keep Zavoral's floor really high. Just the fact that he has a nice stack there with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's look at new team 9, which is an auto draft team. Not too bad up until, pick 5. So let's see. Draisaitl, Reinhart, Hagel. That's not bad, right? Although, yeah, like Tampa and Florida play each other in the first round. So that's, he's going to lose a player right off the bat. Then he's got Nick Suzuki, which, okay, that's fine, right? They play Washington. If they get it through, that's going to be a nice pick for him. But Jason Robertson at 5-3, that's not what you want to do there, in my opinion, unfortunately. Drake Batherson, Jake Sanderson, Thomas Chabot. So he's going Ottawa. I like the Ottawa stack there. He doesn't have any Toronto, so that makes sense. Sam Montembeault got the goalie there. Colton Parayko, Dylan Holloway, and Marco Rossi rounds out his squad. It's not bad for an auto drafted team. I mean, the Hagel Reinhardt thing is a little bit that's kind of stinks, but I mean, it's not too bad. He has something to work with there. Next team, Canada took Makar at 4. I really like that. I took Makar in 5 in the other playoff draft that I did. I felt really good about that. So Canada got Makar, Tavares, Nyes, and Blackwood with his first 4 picks. Pretty nice. So he's got the Toronto stacker and the Colorado stacker. That's a really nice place to be. And then he got Riley and Lehkonen in his next 2 picks. So he's rolling right along. Again, really nice distribution of his players. I think that's really smart. Then he picked up Nuge as kind of a secondary team, right? Edmonton. And they're not going to face Colorado unless they make it to the conference final. So I like that. And then he's got Seth Jones, which could, Florida could play Toronto in the second round. That's fine. But Ross Colton for more of a stacker. Protas, he's kind of taken a swing there that Protas maybe comes back at some point here. Bobby McMahon, Nick Ehlers. Yeah, a couple smart plays there. I think Protas and Ehlers, he's probably put them right into the IR and just picked up other players, which makes total sense. Great team. Canada, that's a really strong team. Obviously, Toronto and Colorado, they're amazing places to play for fantasy too. So it's really good. And your draft position, like where you are, it really makes a difference on what kind of strategy you can employ. And I think that, yeah, he did the right thing there by loading up on teams that are offensively powerful, and he picked the best players from those teams. So way to go. Next team, Who Wants Some Pudding? It's a great name. Eichel at 5. I love it. That's a great pick. I'm taking Vegas to win the cup. So I was hoping Eichel might fall to 9 where I was, because I would have picked him smashed it. So it's great. You got him at 5. Then he got Gensel. So he's going Vegas and Tampa. But then he picked Aho and Dylan Strome. So again, he's kind of going all over the place. He's got some good players, but John Carlson, Shane Gostisbehere. So he's got a Washington stack and a Carolina stack. Then he went Rob Thomas back in the West. Binnington. Yep. So he's got some St. Louis, Luke Hughes, Sorelli, Jackson Blake, William Carlson. This seems interesting to me, but again, I feel like it's spread a little bit too thin. So we'll see. Dream Killer, aka Willie Styles, and the Stolars gang didn't get Stolars. He got sniped. He got Matthews. He got Ovechkin. So again, Toronto and Washington, they could play each other in the conference final. So that's not too bad. I don't mind that. Then he got Chychrun and Theodore. So he's going Vegas in the West. He got Hill, and then he got Thompson for Washington for his goalies. Nice stuff. It's a great start. And then he's got some supplementary pieces here. Drouin, McMichael, Marchand, Pietrangelo, Howden, and Beauvillier rounds out his team. It's not bad. Beauvillier, I hate picks like that, to be honest. I'd rather go upside in the 12th round. Anyone, right? Anyone would be better. I love maybe he got sniped. Demidov is a great pick there. I think Dylan Cousins is a great pick. Marco Rossi was still there. Nick Ehlers. I'd rather do that than go Beauvillier there. I just don't think there's any upside whatsoever. But, it is what it is. Great first, 2/3 of the draft. And the rest was fine too, honestly. Berube's Bees. We got to take a look at this team here. Great first 4 picks, but they're going to play each other potentially in the second round, as I already talked about, which is fine. You can get 2 rounds out of these players. Marner, Stolars, Barkov, Kachuk. I think this team's going to have a great, great start to the pool. This could be like the first place team coming out of round 1, right? I love that start. Then you got Thomas Harley, Matt Duchene, really smart there. So going Dallas in the West, I love that. They have as good a chance as anybody. And then you got Doughty, Granlund, so more Dallas. Darnell Nurse, I think she was, just looking to pick up any solid D at this point. Kuzmenko next, Jake Neighbors, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson to round it out. So lots of Maple Leafs for you. I hope they smash it. I really do. That would be the team that I want to win the Stanley Cup this year. Them or Colorado. Those are my teams that I'm into the most this year. But we'll see. I think it's a great team. We'll see what happens. I think it definitely get a good start. That's for sure. Next team, Leafs out round 1. Got Connor McDavid with the 8th pick. I love that. Evan Bouchard next. I love that stacker. And then Brad Heischer for the New Jersey stacker. I don't know. I mean, Jersey could beat Carolina. It's absolutely achievable, but I don't know. Without Jack Hughes, I just think, it's obviously a lesser team. They kind of stumbled into the playoffs. I think they're well coached, but I don't know that they have the horses to ride with a team like Carolina, in my opinion. But if they do, this team's going to smash. Then we got Wyatt Johnston, Dougie Hamilton from more New Jersey, Jake Ottinger, absolutely fine there. Timo Meyer, so yeah, going heavy on the Devils. Slavkovsky as well, Mike Matheson, the Zucchini Man, and Ivan Demidov. Really nice team, a fun upside team. And, I love the first 4 picks. Honestly, McDavid and Bouchard, that could carry you if they get to the final. I mean, even just having those 2 players, that could carry you. That's how good those players are. I remember, I don't know if it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, McDavid, he led the entire playoffs in points, and they were ousted after round 2, something like that. It's crazy. So they can do that. Bouchard is an amazing playoff performer as well. So I like the start of your team. I think you got a really good chance. We know what my team looks like. Let's go over to Get Riddick or Die Trying. Didn't pick Big Save Dave. I don't know about that. I think there's a missed opportunity there. But took Val Nichushkin at 110. Risky bisky, but who the hell cares? This is definitely, I can see his strategy was to just load up on the teams that he really does believe are going to win. And I respect it, right? And he got Nichushkin and Natchez. That's excellent. They're 2 power play 1 guys. They're not going anywhere. Access to McKinnon. We're loving life. I think that's a nice, I would switch them almost. I think Natchez over Nichushkin, whatever. I think that's a really nice start to your draft. Then you got Jarvis and Dorofiev. So yeah, Vegas and Colorado, they could be conference. They could meet in the conference final. So I like that there. Picked up Sam Bennett Dyson, Sergei Bobrovsky. So Florida out of the East, he's going, and then Ekblad, not too bad. Svechnikov, Mackie Samoskevich, Forsling. So he's going heavy on Florida. I really like that. Stankoven, Nikishin. I'm sorry, folks. I think this is a well-distributed team, and definitely like the Colorado stacker up top. I bet he's wishing he was able to get a little bit more of Colorado. But you got 2 amazing pieces on the top power play. Last 2 teams here, folks. I'll let you go. This team who picked at 11 got Kyle Connor first, and then followed it up with Mikko Rantanen. So, they're opposite ends of the bracket. There's a good chance that they're going to potentially, or no, they aren't. Oh, so they would meet potentially in the second round. So that's okay, I guess. But those are your top 2 picks. You're going to get 2 good rounds out of those players, I would think. Then Mark Stone, Connor Hellebuck next. So obviously he's hoping that Winnipeg is the one that comes out of the West, because Connor Hellebuck's going to be a beast this playoffs. I think Winnipeg has a great shot. I wish that Ehlers wasn't injured, right? And then we'll see what happens again with Velarde coming back off injury. Thomas Hertl, Rupe Hintz, Gabe Velarde, Neil Pionk, Essa Lindell, Victor Olofsson, Braden McNabb, and Evan Rodriguez. Yeah, I mean, I really like I like leaning into Winnipeg. I think that's a really safe play. Gabe Velarde, hopefully he comes back and just crushes. Neil Pionk as well, underrated. I think there's some good value there. The other guys, it's just some spare parts. So kind of the back half of that draft, I'm not really loving it. But, I think your floor is solid because of the Winnipeg picks you had. And then the Cooch father at 12, this is the last team. Mark Scheifele, Braden Point, Vasilevsky, Brady Tkachuk, Timmy Stutz. Nice start. I mean, obviously, leaning into Ottawa a little bit. I like that. The Leafs, we know what they've done so far in the playoffs. It's not a good thing, right? Like, if it can happen to them, it will. And there's potential that, they get upset again by an upstart Ottawa team. And we saw what Brady Tkachuk was able to do in the Four Nations faceoff. Dear God, this guy's a beauty, and he's built for playoff hockey. So I think he could have a massive playoffs. And I like that. Lane Hudson at 6'1", Jake Wallman at 7'12". That's fine. I really don't think Montreal's coming out of there. I'd love it if they did, but I just don't think they're going to get past Washington. Then we get Kopitar, Darren Radish, Charlie Coyle, Brent Burns, Dylan Cousins with the last pick. That's a nice spot there, especially because you got other Ottawa players up top. That's good stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'll tell you, my favorite team, probably Canada. I think that's the team I like the best, that I think has the best chance. Or the Leafs out round one. I do like that team. I think there's just so much value there, so many fun picks, and a lot of chances to hit. So yeah, Leafs out round one. Canada, probably my two favorite teams. So we'll see what's what. Getting McDavid at pick 8 is lovely, isn't it? I mean, that's just a good time. But that's it, folks. That is what we do. That's our draft. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to our listeners that joined this. And yeah, thanks for sticking around to watch all this business. This is a lot of fun. It's my last draft for a while. Actually, Nate and I are going to do a way too early mock draft. We do like a 4-round early mock draft for next year. We've done it for the last 2 seasons. It's really fun. And then we look back on it when we do it again. So we'll do that. That'll be good stuff, and we'll see what's what. But lots more content on the way. Stick with us this whole off season. We're going to keep pumping out some stuff here. I got lots of stuff planned, lots of interviews, tons of fun stuff. So stick around. Really appreciate you folks. But that's it, everybody. Until next time, celebrate your day, and bye for now.